For the boss is a gesture of goodwill.
That's unfortunate.
Goodbye.
Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Hello. Anyway, that was fun.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was fun. Still not as good as ACDC though.
Not as good as ACDC.
No.
No.
I'm tired today.
Me too. It's been a long week. Just kidding. It's as long as every other week.
Longest week of my life.
Longest week of my life.
Just kidding, I don't even remember what happened.
What do you mean?
I just don't remember what happened.
Throughout the week in general?
Well, I know my daughter came and kissed up with her, but like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I seem to more and more just forget the past. Like,
It's funny you bring that up because lately I've been just forgetting things in general. Like I'll be talking about something and you know how like you have like a whole like ADHD thing where you're just like, oh yeah, like and then you get on a different subject.
yeah.
Well, that'll happen to me, but with my memory. So I'll just be like, oh yeah, so this and this happened, and then I'll just be like, wait, what was I even talking about? At all? Like I'll just be like, what was I saying? Or I'll say like, did I tell you this like 2 seconds ago? And then the person's like, no. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, I do stuff like that all the time.
Like, it's weird. Memory is a funny thing.
Well, like I've been missing my appointments like crazy by like an hour because I'll literally be like dead set that something's at 11, and then like it was at 10, and like I missed like a therapy appointment today. And she got mad at me like because I've done this like 3 weeks in a row, but like I honestly was trying my best. That's a worst position to be in is when you like have honestly tried your best, but like you still like. I guess you could say mess it up, but like that was always my thing when I was a kid. Like, how are you gonna get mad at someone for forgetting something? Because forgetting is not something you choose to do.
Yeah.
Or I just don't. I always thought that people get mad at other people for things that like they can't really control, or like waking up late. Or I think like a lot of those things that people like get mad at other people for are actually beyond their control, but there's an illusion of it being them that chose to do that.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many things like that where like there's no way they would have chose to do that, but people still get mad at them for it, you know. And even you can say like, well, you need to learn better time management, and it's like, well, they know that too. It's very strange how like behavior really just kind of keeps repeating, like whether you like it or not. And like people that are in culturally acceptable behavior patterns tend to go around and help people who aren't in culturally acceptable behavior patterns like pull themselves up by their own bootstraps or whatever. But it's like, well, could you do what I do either? You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't try to be like me, so it makes you think I could try to be like you. So
Actually makes a lot of sense.
you know what I mean? It's weird. Like, there's a lot of that that's really annoying with like self-improvement and stuff. Like I find that like unfair. Dallin's girlfriend kept telling me that like I had a lot of potential and stuff, and I was like, you know what? Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's not your job to tell me like I have. It's like, yeah, potential to sit here too, and that's what I'm choosing to do. So F off.
Well, everything is potential.
Yeah.
All energy is potential. Thing is, like, who decides how that potential is supposed to be reached? You know, like, I mean, it's like the little story I used to tell people about the guy who wanted to be a Walmart bathroom attendant. Like, that was his dream, and he kept telling, like, I just made this up, but like, I would say that like this guy was always telling his dad that he didn't want to inherit his corporations and all of his, you know, his money and stuff. That he just aspires to be a Walmart bathroom attendant. And if that was a real situation, like who would his father be to tell him that that's the wrong way to go? Like, if that's what he wants to do, like if that's what he loves,
Yeah.
like it's fine. Like if your potential says like, hey, you're gonna be, whether you're gonna be like a geologist looking for rocks, or you're gonna be like a, a busker on the side of the road, or you're just gonna work at Subway or something.
Yeah, it's really like all the
Like,
same game though.
Yeah.
That's what like Alan Watts talks about a lot. Is like it's all the same game. Like whether you're the type of person who wants to sit in the park all day, or you're the type of person that wants to continuously be getting degrees, and after you get one degree you go back to school for another one, and there's people like that, but really they're both doing the same thing. Like people don't want to hear that, but really it's ultimately the case. Like no one is any farther progressed than others, except you can do that for a short time, but then it always falls apart again. And no matter what you get, like if you get something great, you're gonna lose it. Like say you're a man with a wonderful family, you know what I mean, and like six kids, a $500,000 a year job, beautiful wife. Like it's sorry, dude, you're gonna lose it all. You know what I mean? Like really, you are. Like you can't help that. And it's like you're like with every relationship.
You mean like eventually it'll just be lost?
Eventually either something will break down with it, or you die, or like you'll lose everything. Everybody that has to go, every person that's alive will have to be forced to go through the experience of losing everything they have. And so like if you have a girlfriend when you're 25, it's not a good way to like cling to her or whatever. I'm a very clingy person, unfortunately, but like I can still see the fallacy in it, because like you're gonna lose her. And it's like, if you don't lose it now, well, imagine losing your wife when you're 83. You know what I mean? Imagine losing like the love of your life when you're 83, see all your kids like getting old and about to die. It's like, no matter what, you're in for some shit. And like, you can't secure yourself against it, because that's not possible, because if there wasn't death and decay, there wouldn't be new things that came out either. So like, there has to be that side to it. So like, really, it's just like, getting anywhere is just kind of silly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless you want to, like, but then that's your game, and it's not a more important game or a better game than someone who doesn't want to get anywhere, you know?
Yeah, I was thinking about, just a few days ago, I was thinking about like those really old prospectors back in the day that are, they're extremely old. They obviously don't have a lot of time to live. When you look at them, you can tell. And they're out there mining for gold, constantly, and they already found a bunch, but it's not enough, and they keep doing it, and it's like, then they die, but it's like, why does a person do that? Why would they choose to spend their entire life looking for a mineral that means nothing to them when they die?
Exactly.
When they literally die looking for this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also a lot about like, that's why like what you're doing in the moment, you just like do. I guess like that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But like, it's interesting. That's why, like, I think the ideal life to me is like, work like 24 hours a week, mess around, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just have a room, have like whatever it is. I even lived that way with my daughter always. Like, I fucking just like people always say like kids are so expensive, and it's like, kids are expensive if you choose to make kids expensive. Like, if you start to be like one of those people that's like, well, my kids gotta have nice clothes, my kids we can't be taking the bus, like, then it's gonna be expensive. But if you're the type of person that's like, yeah, like, we can get a room, and like, if they want to sit and play guitar all day, hella cool. Like, I'm gonna see, like, what do you like? You like cars? We'll go get a $300 piece of shit car, and you can start looking up YouTube videos. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that, rather than like, the worst thing you can do to kids is tell them like, you have to become, because they'll carry that mindset throughout their whole life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and then when the natural part of them resists that, they feel like they're a failure. They feel like they're not adequate enough to be what you told them they're supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's.
Sorry, continue.
No, there was something else I was thinking, but that really is how it is, though.
No, it is. It's like, that's why I love when Alan Watts, like, something he said really hit me the other day, because he was saying that life is like a cell moves through your body, you just like going do 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 do, you know, like plays like a song implying like random nonsense motion, and he said that's like what humans are doing too. It's just like all one big do 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 do. And so I went around all day bugging the shit out of Lex, going do dot do 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 da do.
Dude, I do that all the time. Think about the word dude, dude. Hey, dude. So like Alan Watts talking about stuff like that. It reminds me of not really him, but just like a concept of, you know, what enlightenment really is. It's like, and with it goes back to the whole like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you're really doing the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're painting or you're looking at videos on YouTube, like whatever. It's like you take a marble and you put it in water. It's still a marble. It's just in the water. But
exactly.
You know, you put it in a box. It's in the box. You put the marble in the garbage can. It doesn't matter where it is. It's still marble.
Yeah.
And so like I think that's what like the whole Zen concept of enlightenment is you are the marble regardless of where you are. And once you realize that it doesn't matter what you're doing because you're always doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's right.
And every moment that you exist, the center of the universe is always where you're at.
Exactly. So like what's weird about that center of the universe thing is I actually realized that in jail, like after I did that crap with the Freemason temple and I was sitting on the floor in jail, I thought of the phrase, you just think the whole universe revolves around you, don't you? And I was thinking that, and I was just, because I get like really egoic.
Where else do I revolve?
Yeah, but like when I get in those modes, it's weird because I'll get like super egoic, then all these voices will chastise me sometimes, like, and so one of them was like, they're all me though, it's just like different areas of my mind, like I don't think Uma Thurman's after me, but like, but no, like this voice just said, you just think the whole universe revolves around you, don't you? And I wish I still had the notebook because I sat down and I wrote, the universe revolves around every single person because where every single person is the center of their universe.
Exactly.
And then I heard Alan Watts say it. And that's what I love when that stuff happens. Another time I was talking to my mom and I was like, not like I'm as smart as Alan Watts, just that it's like it's a concept.
But
that,
no,
well, it's just like it's like something inherent to human understanding when you can be like, oh.
And that's something I realized too, like, I don't know if Alan Watts, I don't recall him ever saying that, but I do recall myself once upon a time thinking about how no matter where I'm at, I'm always where I'm at. Like everything is constantly around me.
Well, that's the same realization.
And I can't escape from that position. That's where I came from, the center of the universe.
And that's the same realization, and that's what I love about like with Zen and stuff and all that is because like they basically talk about like being useless. Like they have like people can say, yeah, but like you gotta improve this and that, but it's like it's always based on the future. Like after I was like, well, what will happen then? If you notice, it's always that, like usually for self-improvement, unless it's like, because if it wasn't that, it would just be like what you're doing anyway for fun in that moment. But it's always like, yeah, but you need to do this so you can have this or like that. And it's not about like not having a job or having, it's about like just that notion in your head that you need to improve yourself constantly is just so damaging.
Yeah.
And even like think about it, like the Rolling Stones are still on tour, like they're dying. Like my dad said that they have to hire other musicians to play their shit, basically. Like, they're 75, but the dude can't quit. Imagine the pain Mick Jagger is going through right now. Being 75, he used to be a rock star, you know, everyone just wants to suck his dick and all that, and that still happens, I'm sure, and all that, but think about it now, he's too old to enjoy it. Now he's on the real downside of it, and his health is failing, and he's trying to still do these, like, world tours and stuff. And just imagine, like, that poor guy, like, how much suffering is inherent in his situation. Probably as much suffering relative as to the joy of coming up as a huge rock star. You know what I'm saying? So he's hitting the other side of it.
Yeah.
Same with, like, Ozzy Osbourne right now. It's the same thing. It's like they have to give up that they have built and that those accolades, like, I'm a rock star or whatever. It's like when they can't do it anymore, like, you know. And
it's interesting when you see a person and you tell they haven't been able to let go, and even still maybe they love it, but
no, yeah, it's you can, I'm sure you can do it in like the right spirit, but
yeah, like with anything.
But if you do it in the right spirit, I don't think you would enjoy it in the same way as like traditional like rock star would enjoy it. You know what I mean? I think you'd act a little more like Maynard probably. Like just be like a little bit like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill and I'll come out and say things sometimes and you know, like but not.
Yeah, he definitely just isolated himself and just wants to be normal. I think that eventually, I think the reason why it's hard for me to truly take myself somewhere that's bigger than where I'm at, you know, from my understanding, is because a part of me knows that when I get there, I'll become bored of it, or it will become normal, and then there won't be as much passion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you learn your favorite song, like you're learning it, you're getting it down, and then you finally played it for the first time. That's great. But after about the 50-something time, it doesn't feel good. You don't really care about the song as much.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much meaning. I think that comes with anything that we aspire to achieve. Once we do achieve it, it's just like, well, I'm at the top of the mountain. I guess now we'll just come down.
Yeah, it's because it's constant motion. If there was a state where you could be at the top of the mountain, then you could just sit there and be like, all right, I'm at the top of the mountain, then life wouldn't continue. Think about it. That would be a dead stop, and that is death. So you can't, if reality was set in the way that you could get to the top of the mountain and actually be king of the hill, then reality would stop. You know what I mean? If you didn't have and it would be not worth living because you wouldn't have the potential to fall back down. And that's why, like, I always get in modes where, like, I feel real bad about myself a lot of the time. Like, I'll always come off as, like, just, like, I'm a bum, like, or, like, I like just being free, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, I do see people that, like, achieve stuff with, like, guitar, for example. Like, their guitar teachers, like that dude you're showing me, or, like, they have achieved something in a way that I want. Or, like, people have, like, a pot farm or something like that. I'm like, man, like, that's actually tight. Like, they're going to make so much money off this. And I'm, you know, and, like, I'm, like, doing something they love. But then I think about, like, how I am. And it's like, well, you know what? Like, I got a cool thing about me, too, because I like how I am able to basically just be like spontaneous or some stuff, you know what I mean? I like that, like, and it would kind of ruin it, quite honestly, if I came across like $5 million. Like, there needs to be that struggle. Like, it's almost more fun to be. I'd say it's more fun to be. I've been around rich people so much. Like, my whole family's very wealthy, and like they don't like. It's just that's just like.
Yeah.
The only thing to do with it is you could have like freedom, but like you can also have that through being poor too. And quite honestly, it's almost better to have it through being poor, if you ask me. It's just like there's something lame about it. Like, that's why I like say like Leftover Crack versus like a lot of other bands, is because not only did they like just do what they wanted, but they did it in a way that was so just under the table. You know what I mean? Like, just so like they didn't figure out a way to make like $12,000 a month and travel the world in an $80,000 van. They rode trains around and did heroin. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, and so like that's what I like about is that it's the anti-establishment stuff. You know what I mean? It's like as far as they go, and that's just my game, I guess. But that's why I've always thought that they were kind of cool, is because it's like there's such struggle with it. There's such you know. Like, there's got to be a bad guy in the story. Sorry, I've been rambling. That probably didn't make sense.
No, it does. You're fine. It's cool. There's a lot of good people in the lowest of circumstances. I'm not saying like low as in like low life.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But the rock bottom. You know, you find some extremely good people, and they've always been there, and you wonder why. Like, why is it that these people aren't bitter to the world? And it's that experience. It's that experience that gives them the understanding of what struggle really is. And you know, and you find these rich people that get everything they want, and they say they're struggling, but they're just jerks to people because they don't know. They're the one that's making these people down here feel terrible. And when those people feel terrible, they say, I don't want someone else to feel that way.
Absolutely.
You know, if the rich people could find themselves in a situation where that's how it is, then I think there's a song that's like, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a wasting away. I see you. No. It's yeah. It's like don't be so greedy. $1's a penny to you. You know, and it's like something about walking in her shoes. I don't know. But
Yeah,
anyway,
no.
Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm actually just rambling too. But
Yeah, I'm tired. That's what happens. But it's very strange how like culture. Like, I got into it with a dude on Reddit. I got attacked by the hive mind of Reddit the other day because I posted something about like homeless people. Like people were just saying like it's disgusting and shameful to walk around and get drunk all day. And I was like, okay, well, a lot of people who have a lot of money are doing a lot worse for society than people. If you want to just walk around getting drunk all day, who cares? Like, go ahead. You know what I mean? If that's like what you want to do, and there are people like that, then like go right ahead and like and I said like they're not necessarily doing anything wrong by doing that or like shameful. Like that's how they want to spend their existence. And they didn't get it. They just thought they couldn't see that perspective at all. You know what I mean? Whatsoever. Like not even like one iota of like I could see it that way. Like I don't think it's a good idea to walk around outside getting drunk all day, but if someone else wants to do that, then whatever. It goes back to the thing about it all being a form of play. Like they're just playing in that way. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily like comfortable or like good as far as the relativity of our culture goes, but that's like still their game, and that is Zen in itself.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like people that have that game, and so like, but people be like, no, that's a shameful way to live. It's like, but that's your opinion. You know what I mean? It's like, and what I guess it's my opinion to say that it's not shameful too, but I mean. But I'm willing to say that both of those are just opinions and they're just doing what they're doing and we don't have to think anything about it either way, you know? So, like, yeah, it's just weird. Perception's a very strange
at the end
thing.
of the day, the sun sets.
That's true. But it's just weird how, like, people will so attack you for that because you're starting to, like, pull apart, like, cultural boundaries, I guess. Or, like, you're starting to question, like, people's fundamental life axioms, like no, you don't go around outside getting drunk all day, and that is bad. You know, it's like, well, why? Because they're not contributing. Well, how do you know what's the definition of contributing? How do you know what they do all day? How do you know how their behavior fits into the behavior of every organism in their environment? For all you know, they're doing a better service than you are. You know, you don't know what the function of people don't know enough to look and see a drunk on the street and say that person's worthless. It's like, dude, like a potato bug isn't even worthless. Like everything's connected together. You know what I mean? Like nothing, like think about it, like how an ecosystem goes. The animals all work with each other in some way or another, and that's the same with people. So like when you see someone on the street strung out, they are filling a role in that web too, in some way or another. You know, even if it's just to show what you don't want to become, that's still a role that they're playing that's necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
But yeah. Today's not very funny.
Well, not everything's funny. But no, it's interesting though.
I guess it is.
I'm a firm believer that everything is just kind of how it is and it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's cool to like want to improve yourself, but just to like realize it's like a game and not think you're actually going to be better or more worthy once you get to the point that you're seeing as an improvement. That just ruins it all. You know what I mean? I think it's only possible to like improve yourself when you see that you're not really going to have fundamentally improved. You're just going to be playing a different game, and then it's easy and fun to do. It's not direly serious. You know what I'm saying? That way to do it.
Just kidding. No.
But yeah, I'm hungry, dude.
You're hungry?
Yes.
Me too.
Let's have Jaden buy us 20-pound steaks like last time. Remember that?
We did,
He bought like so much steaks. We went to Subway. He had a fat ass sometimes, dude. Like we went to Subway and he got like a foot-long ad right after. I was like, let's go get some steaks. Like, all right. And then that was good though.
I'm not a huge fan of steaks.
The only reason I am is because it's just like you can tell it's so like nutrient dense. That like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's good every once in a while, just so like, well, I have like my protein requirement for the week, you know? Like, so I like steak sometimes, but normally I try not to eat meat actually, or eat meat sparingly, you know, like we've been talking about, but...
It does say in scripture to use meat sparingly. The funny thing is, nobody listens to that.
Yeah, people definitely pick and choose.
Nobody listens to that.
Well, there's also a lot of, just like what Bryce was saying is like, when they say strong drink, they're not talking about beer, they're talking about whiskey. You know what I mean? Like, there's actually a pretty good case for that. Because, like, beer has just been seen as basically a soda throughout history. A lot of the time, like, kids would drink it, or, like, beer was just, like, soda. Like, it was just sitting around. And so, like, when they said no strong drink, they're talking about whiskey. Because people are crazy on whiskey. And so, like, that's a weird thing. Another thing kind of along those lines, did you know that marijuana is extremely legal in North Korea?
What do you mean by
it's legal?
Extremely illegal.
I mean, it's used like tobacco.
It's no different.
It's no different. They see it's no different than tobacco.
What's the difference between legal and extremely illegal?
I guess nothing. But like,
it's like when something is extremely illegal, they have like harsher punishments. But like when it's so extremely legal that when you smoke it, they actually reward you.
Yeah, where they force you to do it.
They force you to do it.
That's extremely legal. The government makes you do it. But no, apparently like it just grows freely, and people just like just smoke it like cigarettes. It's not even seen as anything that's anything, which is really, maybe it's like way crappy weed. But that's just a strange.
I think that for me, or for everyone, it's different. Like depending, like who they are determines what marijuana is to them. And it's not. It shouldn't. It doesn't. It's not a matter of like illegal or immoral or stupid or smart, whatever. You know, they're like, for me, if I do it, I get completely unmotivated. All I want to do is be by myself for the most part, and just do something creative, which I can do sober anyways. You know, it gives me anxiety.
That's the part that I don't like.
The reason, one of the things that I realized about it was, anyways, let me make my point. But for other people, it might help them. It might make them a little more motivated, and so for those people, like that's fine, whatever, you know. But like in my own personal life, I say it's not something that I need to do. It hinders me in ways.
I just gotta be careful, but I agree.
There was an experience I had. I went hiking with some friends in the mountains, and I did acid for the first time. And I had this one friend who was like, he was being a total douche, just sitting down in the car, and he didn't want to come up with us at first. I'm just kidding. No, but anyways, afterward, we were at a park and we were sitting there, and I was just like, you know, tripping out, enjoying my time, and we were sitting in a circle, and somebody passed me a pipe, and I took a hit, and next thing I know, everyone in that park had a microphone, and they were all like centrally like focused in on me, and I could hear everything spreading out as if they were being passed through each microphone, and I was like pure Truman Show situation, paranoid, because it sounded real, you know. But that didn't happen until like almost the instant that I took that weed.
Yeah, weed can definitely be something.
It just, and I was just like, wow, like I was perfectly fine. But I'm not saying weed is bad. I'm not saying weed is good. I'm just saying it's a plant, can be used, causes effects. But in the long run, like at the end of the day, it's just like the same thing as Zen. It just is what it is. Like it's not supposed to be said what it is. It's just doing what it does, and we do what we do.
Absolutely. Anyway, should we call it and go try to find Willie?
How long is this one? Does it say?
I don't know. I'd say it's about 30, which I think is good, honestly.
I don't think it's been 30 minutes yet. We still have about 30 seconds. And then it'll be about 30 minutes, so I'm going to call it.
Okay. Cornflakes.
You were wrong, Trent. That wasn't the right time. I'm
Cornflakes.
going to call it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I guess that's the end of the episode. Goodbye.
Cornflakes.
Goodbye.